Donald Trump gave his first ever public remarks yesterday since becoming a felon, so I thought we could look over some of the excuses that he fell on. Don't unsubscribe, please. This was about as wild of a press conference as he usually gives, so you know that it's full of misinformation and delusion, but let's start with him trying to justify the hush money that he paid to quiet an affair.
But the three things that he pled on having to do with the election and having to do essentially a little bit with me, they weren't crimes. They weren't crimes. Nor is paying money under an NDA. So we have an NDA, non-disclosure agreement. It's a big deal, a non-disclosure agreement. Totally honorable, totally good, totally accepted. Everybody has them. Every company has non-disclosure agreements. But the press called it slush fund and all sorts of other things. Hush money, hush money. It's not hush money. It's called the non-disclosure agreement.
So was it an NDA or was it legal fees? Because he wasn't charged for having an NDA. He was charged for using campaign money to pay for an NDA that he then labeled on his campaign finance records as legal fees. So if you're saying it was an NDA and not legal fees, you're just admitting to what the prosecution charged you for, why did you plead not guilty then? And he did all that to help his electoral chances, which again is what made it a felony. The funniest part of this whole thing is, had he just been the least bit of honest and tried to come out in front of this and admitted he had the affair, or even just admitted that he paid the NDA if he was going to do that in 2016, he wouldn't be a felon right now. But Trump is incapable of honesty. His egotistical narcissism makes him think he can get away with any lie he tells, and those stream of lies finally caught up to him. What this shows me more than anything, however, is the two defining values of the Republican Party, law and order and family values, never really matter to them, because look how fast they'll just toss all that out the window to bow down to their cult leader.
I went through one of many experiences where we had a conflicted judge, highly conflicted. There's never been a more conflicted judge. Now, I'm under a gag order, which nobody's ever been under. No presidential candidate's ever been under a gag order before.
Well, this part probably has more to do with no other former president ever being a felon. So, it's obviously going to be a bit different. And let's play exposing MAGA hypocrisy real quick. One of the comments that I frequently see is, oh, Stormy Daniels broke the NDA, which is a legally binding contract to keep her silent. She should be the one on trial, which, by the way, is false. She was released from the NDA right before her book came out. But if MAGA does think that's so terrible, immoral, illegal, and I see people saying she should be a criminal and locked up, put on trial, isn't it equally disgraceful then for Trump to break his legally binding gag order? Shouldn't he respect it the same way MAGA thinks that Stormy Daniels should have respected the NDA? Or is it just that anything that goes against Trump for you guys, it is? That's pretty much what I thought.
Where people are allowed to pour in from countries unknown, from places unknown, from languages that we haven't even heard of. We have people sitting in schools with languages where very few people have ever even heard of these languages. It's not like Spanish or French or Russian. Languages.
Just in, Trump only knows of the existence of 3 languages. This is just extremely xenophobic. We don't have an official language. It isn't mandatory that you speak any language to be an American. And being multicultural is actually one of the defining traits of America and what makes us so great. But then again, you have bigots like this guy who want nothing but straight white males with subservient wives who only leave the house to tend to the garden work, and everybody only speaks English.
A case where if they can do this to me, they can do this to anyone. And these are bad people. These are, in many cases, I believe, sick people.
Now, this talking point especially, I don't understand and never have, especially from the party of law and order, which again, they are not, because they will agree to things like this and this comment just to bite the bullet on Trump needs to be exonerated. So does every other prisoner, but you care about law and order, right? They should be able to do this to anyone who commits a crime. They should be. Like, the fact you're saying that isn't a failure of the system. The fact that a former president can be held accountable is a strength of it and shows that no one is above the law. I hope they do go after anyone who commits felonies. And I'm supposed to be a vermin communist, according to Trump and MAGA, who just doesn't care about the law and wants all these thugs to take over the street. But look who's so quick to toss the law aside. It's kind of crazy. George Zimmerman killed an innocent black boy for nothing. and was found not guilty. Let's be completely honest. And all these right-wingers told us to respect the verdict, respect the legal system. The impartial jury found him not guilty. Zoom forward a few years and their white supremacist leader is convicted of a felony, and all of a sudden you can no longer trust in any institution. Nobody is buying y'all's bullshit. If you enjoyed this video, we're Social Society. We're a commentary channel influenced by politics, society, and the economy. We are pretty left-leaning on this channel, but we're open to our right-wingers as well. The biggest thing here is having conversations that get everyone to the bottom of the truth. If that sounds like something that could interest you, consider smashing that subscribe button, leaving us a like, or even commenting on this video. We even have memberships available as low as $3 if you'd like to support, because the only way we become a society is together.